ride. On this episode...
I'm trying to do television right now.
I know, and we're having a discussion.
On this episode of Throwdown,
Welcome to Cioppino Chaos.
we head up to Northern California in search of a tasty regional classic.
Cioppino.
Making this fragrant seafood stew is second nature to Phil DiGirolamo.
I'm Phil. This is Catch of the Day.
Phil thinks he's juggling crustaceans for a Food Network special. But will the fun stop when I show up?
Oh, this is my show.
It's a throwdown so chock full of seafood you can't see the bottom of the pot.
Is it good? Have you tasted it? Is this your whole family right here?
My name is Bobby Flay. My mission, to find the best of the best. My objective, perfecting their signature dish. The plan of attack, I'm showing up to challenge them, but they don't know it. I may win, I might even lose. It's anybody's game. It's the ultimate throwdown.
Thank you. How's it look?
Good.
Yeah? All right, thanks. Looks great. Have a nice trip. All right, let's check out what the next challenge on Throwdown will be. Cioppino. Think of it as like a seafood stew that has a broth made with tomatoes and fresh garlic and some kind of fish stock. Okay. Here he is. Phil What is it? Phil DiGirolamo of Phil's Fish Market and Eatery in Moss Landing, California, up in Monterey. Phil grew up surrounded by the sea and a family who loves to cook. His famous Cioppino is packed with 7 different types of fresh-caught seafood delivered daily from local fishing boats.
With the different species and all that we have here, you can come out with a marvelous dish of Cioppino.
Phil's Fish Market and Eatery has received critical acclaim, helping put this tiny fishing town near Monterey on the map.
Moss Landing is in the center of the world.
Here's the setup. Phil thinks he's being featured on a Food Network series called Catch of the Day.
You're watching Catch of the Day, Phil's Fish Market.
A show about regional seafood favorites.
Ooh, good. Look at that. Ooh.
Your mission? Master your take on this versatile fish stew and stand strong against the men who grew up making Cioppino to see which competitor will be crowned King of the Sea. Okay, now Cioppino is a dish that I have a lot of experience with. It's a very popular dish at Bar American and at Mesa Grill. And, you know, I think that gives me a better start than most times.
Are you guys ready for Cioppino? Because we're cooking up a whole bunch of it.
All right, Phil, your Cioppino better be perfect, because I'm coming to Moss Landing in my fishing boat. You better be ready. Throwdown Express.
When you're in Moss Landing, California, there's one thing you just can't get away from. The sea. This beautiful Northern California town is all about the deep blue and the bounty that comes from it.
We're blessed with a tremendous amount of different types of fish, sardines, a good showing of halibut. The fellow that was fishing behind me, they're trying to get striped bass. And of course, we get a lot of calamari.
It's the perfect place to get a great bowl of that fragrant tomato and seafood stew known as Cioppino. And Phil DiGirolamo is just the guy to make it for you.
Hi, my name is Phil DiGirolamo, and I'm the owner of Phil's Fish Market and Eatery here in Moss Landing.
Cooking is in Phil's blood, going back generations.
My grandmother and my grandfather were from a little town in Sicily. They came over in the 20s and brought a lot of the recipes and some of the traditions from the same families. The sauce that I use today has a lot of bases from what she did in that cooking.
Wedged between the sea and some of the most productive farmland in the world, Cioppino was a natural menu addition.
We're really blessed in this area here in Central California that we have marvelous fishery, and it's all year round.
Year round, which is exactly how often locals flock to the restaurant for Phil's Cioppino.
Delicious! You keep finding more and more stuff. There's more scallops the more you dig. We drive from San Jose to this place just for this Cioppino.
It's got the calamari, it's got the different types of fish, it's got the shrimp, mussels, clams, crabs, it's got everything.
Legends says Cioppino originated in the Bay Area, inspired by a real melting pot. Stews made from fish scraps pulled by the immigrant fishermen who lived near the docks.
And they would say, hey, Giuseppe, what are you going today? And he said, well, I'm going to go crab. Bruno, what are you going? He said, I'm fishing cod. Another one that says, I got clams. And so what they would do, they would put in this pot and they would chip in. And Mr. Giuseppe couldn't say chip in. He'd say chippy, 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 Cioppino. And that's where the word Cioppino came from.
Phil thinks the cameras are here so he can chip in on a Food Network seafood special.
Hi, I'm Phil, and you're watching Catch of the Day. No, what was that? For Food Network. On Food Network. Do it again? You like that? Okay.
But will he feel the pinch when he realizes what's really going on?
Okay, so Cioppino, well, it's really all about the fish. In mine, I like to have like some snapper, some shrimp, some lobster, you know, things along those lines. You know, in picking out the right kind of fish, obviously you want it to be as fresh as possible. You know, those guys in the docks, I mean, it didn't really get much fresher than that. And you want the same thing. When you're buying things like mussels, clams, and oysters, the most important thing is make sure that they're not open yet, because once they open, that means that they're dead, and you want them to be alive. When you're looking at a fish like a red snapper, for instance, just look it in the eye. You see how nice and clear the eye is here? That's a really good sign that your fish is going to be incredibly fresh. Cioppino is obviously, first and foremost, it's about the seafood, and then, of course, it's really about the flavor. The tomatoes, the garlic, and I got a couple of surprise ingredients, too, but we'll talk about those later.
Cioppino is really one of the great American dishes, so it's a good thing Phil's Cioppino can be shipped frozen throughout the country.
These are all the Cioppino buckets getting ready for shipping. And that's what we ship for the holidays. They go all over the nation.
While Phil's keeping cool, I'm headed to the Food Network Test Kitchen to heat up some stew.
We call this Cioppino Central, the Food Network Test Kitchen. We have Miriam, Stephanie. So Cioppino is a seafood stew that is bathed in a tomatoey, fish stock, a garlicky broth. The key ingredient here is anchovies.
In the actual Cioppino?
I don't want to give it away yet.
Oh, gee.
Hi, I'm going to make Cioppino sauce. And I'm going to start off with onions, fresh parsley. It's kind of dead with no music, so we got to sing. Oh, muddy, cuando son hecho beso por ti.
We're going to make the broth first, and then we can cook the fish, and then we can marry it all together.
The Cioppino's like two recipes. You've got to make the right tomato sauce to make it really blend. We use 3 different types of tomatoes. A nice strip tomato, a crushed tomato, and then we use a tomato paste.
We're going to need some white wine. We're going to let it reduce down. We're going to cook out the alcohol and then, you know, retain the flavor of the grape. Let's put some tomatoes in here. Can I have another can?
Is it supposed to be super tomatoey?
Can I have another can, please?
I'm just asking you.
We're going to add fish stock to this as well.
Clam base is boiled down clam juice, and it gives you this nice seafood flavor throughout your whole sauce. Now, this should cook about an hour to an hour and a half.
How about anchovy paste? Do we have that?
I could find some.